How's it going, guys? The Forex Army EA here. This is going to be my first video. I'm not a developer, and so this is going to be fun. Now, I've been already doing this script early in a Zoom meeting, and this is how we're going to do. Every time I'm going to be coding, I'm going to be on Zoom so people can watch and can learn with me. And that's going to be fun. So if you're interested in making, script EAs for MetaTrader, I guess this is going to be the right channel for you. So today is going to be a kind of easy task to do, and it's just going to be to calculate the take profit, the stop loss, and the percentage of the target. So if you have any suggestion, maybe of me doing something better, you can post it down below. And also, if you want to, you can also tell me maybe an idea for the next video. So let's get started. And so the first thing to do is going to be to calculate take profit, stop loss, and percentage. All right, so the actual real first thing to do is going to be to ask some information to the trader. So for that, I already know that I can use a property, and that property is going to be show inputs. So with that property, I'm going to be able to ask to people or to traders, what they want to do. So it's going to be pretty fun. All right, that will be all my inputs. But before to do the inputs, I'm going to have to set certain variables. And the first one is to understand what the traders need to do. So what does the trader wants to do? And to do that, I'm going to create an enum, and I'm going to call it market side. So basically this type of variable here is going to create a new type of data. So the data type is going to be market side. And this is still something that I need to, I understand the concept. The only background of development I have is PHP, and it's kind of different, but not really. Many concepts are equal. So the first thing is that it could be, well, what do you want to do? What does the trader want to do? Want to buy? Okay, he's going to buy. Or the other option is that maybe you want to sell. So this something very important is that when you do an enum, when you're going to declare a new enum, you have to on the last value, you don't have to put a comma, because otherwise this is not going to work. All right, so the next thing to do is going to be the info. We need to ask the info to the trader who wants to obtain. So what info the trader wants. And to do that, we're going to have to declare another enum, and this time we can call it, in the last one I called it action profit, but let's just call it action, let's say info, right? Info to obtain. All right, and this is not going to be another one. And as I told you earlier, basically what we need to do is that now that we're going to have more than two, I'm going to show you what it means. Right, take profit is going to be the first one. It's going to be the first option. So take profit and then comma. We're going to go to the new line and stop loss, comma, and then the last one's going to be both. So it wants maybe to have take profit and stop loss. It's going to be very helpful. That's great. Now we have set this, but those are not input yet. They're just pretty much, data type. So the first thing you want to do is to create inputs. All right, let's do this. So the first input that we're going to ask the trader to give us is going to be the market side. So the market side is going to be it's going to be an input of type market side, and then we're going to need to declare an actual name of the variable. So it's going to be side. And for now, we're just going to say that the default is going to be buy. Perfect. So now we should have that. The second one is going to be another input. This time input is going to be info to obtain type. We can call this, well, let's call it action, okay? And we can set this to take profit maybe, since it's the first one. Great. Now, the second and the third one is going to be about the take profit and the stop loss amount. So to do that, we're going to have to just input, and this time, well, it can be int or it can be int. I mean, let's do something different. Let's do double. So it's going to be, well, double is not just going to be an integer. And I think it could be worked out in case the trader wants to have, let's say, 25 pips and a half. Does it make sense to do so? Maybe. So let's do this. And we're going to call this take profit. So this time that the data type is going to be double, and the name of the variable is going to be take profit. Input is just going to be to initialize that we're actually going to ask to the traders, you know, to input something to us. All right, so take profit, and let's set this to 10 as default. And we're gonna do that just the same for the oh my god, double. We're gonna do the same for the stop loss. Right, stop loss is equal to 10. Perfect. Now that we have that, do we need extra information? Well, actually we do, because we want to calculate the percentage, but the percentage actually is going to mean the lots, right? So the next thing that we're going to ask to the trader is going to be another integer, and it's going to be a double again, I believe, because it makes sense to be a double. So let's call it risk percentage. And it's going to be equal to 1 as default. Now we can run this, hopefully compile, and there is already a problem here. I did, okay, double expected token, and what I did, that's on line 35, int double risk percentage. Oh, that's fun. That's so fun. Unexpected token. That's weird. All right, let's try. Oh, wait a second. That was an input, right? So compile. But still, this has problems. Oh, why? So basically, what I was doing is that I was actually putting int and double data type in the same one. All right, let's try to run this. All right, so this is going to be the one that we're going to be using. And okay, now it's going to be showing in the other place. Now you can see the inputs. And as you can see, the side can be either buy or sell, take profit, or it can be stop loss or above. And the take profit is going to be number, and stop loss a number, and risk percentage a number. Now, for now, it's not going to do nothing else. The script is just going to just pretty much showing us this. So we need to add some extra information to the script to understand what we want to do. All right, development. So I was actually, let's see. I want to show you something before to go any further, because okay, so basically I was asking this information to use market info, and basically this is going to, okay, the market info is going to give you back some information of the market, and one of the method I believe that you can ask is going to be mod stop level. That's going to be just telling you the script how much is going to be the stop level on the broker, which means that how many pips the broker is going to allow, okay, as minimum. So I want to use that. So before to start anything, I want to do this. So check if stop loss is, well, we need to check if the stop loss is at least at the minimum allowed by the broker. How we do that? So we're gonna have to do an if cycle, and well, it's not really a cycle, if check, and then we're gonna need to do market info, and then we're gonna need to pass the current chart. So it's gonna be symbol, symbol, all right. And then the second argument is going to be, I believe, mark enum. I don't remember actually. Wait a second. I don't remember, so it's better if I check. Oh, mod stop level, yeah. All right, perfect. Mod stop level. Mod stop level. So what we need to check is that pretty much the minimum allowed from the broker, by the broker, is gonna be lower or, right? So it's gonna have to be lower or equal to the stop loss. Now, I wanna do something that I never tried because I'm really new to this, but let's say that this is gonna work. All right, so if this is gonna work, we're gonna put all the code here. So we can actually, for now, we can just alert something. So alert is gonna be a function that we're gonna be using to send alerts, right? And we're gonna just say, so if that is gonna be, okay, so this is allowed. Or if it's not equal or minor, and all right, my computer just froze. Why? Okay, I guess I'm touching something that I'm not supposed to touch. Why is doing that? I have no clue. What? Okay, this is weird. Does it do the same thing in here? No, it doesn't. Okay. Okay. Looks like the editor just, for some reason, stopped working. Let's see. No, I don't want to lose that. Okay, this works, but the editor doesn't. Okay, it does now. Okay, I don't know what happened. But here, else, you're gonna say, what is going on? Oh, okay. Alert. We're gonna say, okay. So this is allowed, all right? This is allowed. So this is really simple, but let's run this. Okay, so let's check it out. Now, already the script should do something. So let's have a look. Right, this is allowed, and this should not be allowed actually. So something is weird about this. So I guess we need to try something here. We need to try to, all right, let's do this. Right, this, it's, okay, so if the amount of pips allowed are less or equal, this is allowed. Let's do something here. And once again, I don't know if I can do this, but I'm gonna try anyways. Int test is equal to that. I'm pretty sure you can't do it. You can do that on, okay, you can't do it. The thing is that you can do this on PHP. You can't do this in here. Compile. What? Unexpected token. I'm thinking about something. I think that we need to get this number outside of the code. All right, integer. That because this is double. But anyway, we need to remember to remove this. Most likely this is a double. Maybe that's why, you know. But let's try to compile this. Now, it was not that the problem, but let's just see something, okay? So let's see if this is going to give us any problem. All right, let's understand. This is allowed, but it doesn't, okay, this is, okay, wait a second. Okay, it doesn't show that. So why it doesn't show that? That's interesting. Right, maybe because it has to be a double. Let's try this out. That's weird. So what we can do about this? Well, then what we can do is that we can use as reference. Where is it? Okay, this one. So I was actually defining this outside of the scope of the. All right, so let's check it out now. We can do this. Minimum pips allowed by broker is going to be that. So let's use this one here. And instead of doing this, we're just going to do that. And in here, we don't need this anymore. Oh, but I'm so dumb. Maybe it was working. I guess it was working. I think it was working. All right, I guess it was working, guys, but it's just because it said not here. All right, compile, and let's run it once more. Okay, we need to go here and tag this one. Well, that's weird. That's really weird because, oh, we do have illegal else. What? Okay, let's see. Operation expected. Okay, we have a bunch of mistakes here. So the first one is going to be that one. Operand expected. And, well, let's just do this. I don't know why it was working before. It's not working anymore now. All right, so if that, else that. What do you want? And then we have an expected token. Oh, there we go. There we go. I didn't delete things properly. Okay, I will get used to it at some point. It's just about a matter of practicing. And we're gonna do definitely great things. So this is not allowed because the minimum amount is gonna be 20. So what I wanna do with this information, what I wanna do is that, okay, we need to go here and we're gonna need to do the opposite. So if this is gonna be, but this doesn't make sense, is it? Because if the number is, oh, okay, yeah, it does make sense. So I was actually doing this the way around because this number here, so if this number, right, which is the minimum amount, is going to be lower or equal to the stop loss, then it means that, what? Okay, I guess I did it wrong, the wrong way, because this is not going to be, this is not going to be right. But let's try this anyway. Let's try this anyway. And says this is allowed. Okay, so this is what we were trying to achieve. Why? And I'm going to show you now why. Okay, now it makes sense. Okay, I had everything in my mind, yeah, but now it's gonna make sense. I promise you. The minimum, all right, so let's say that this happened. So this problem happens, and basically, you know, the minimum amount is not gonna be enough. And what we're gonna be saying to the program is that the minimum amount of stop loss is my cat is so annoying. Okay, so the minimum amount of stop loss the minimum amount of pips for the stop loss is that, right? And then what I want to do here is going to just to be break the program, and actually we can test this out. Let's alert something in here, and you should see this only if the minimum amount is greater. Okay, so let's compile this, and there is an error, definitely. Right. Okay, where is that? Line 50. Okay, it says break. Break must be used between loop or switch statement. So I cannot break this. All right, I cannot break this. So I guess I will not be doing it, but anyway, this is gonna make sense. Now let's run this. And all right, unexpected end of program. I believe I removed too many things that I wasn't supposed to remove. All right, now. Okay, so let's see, run, and it's going to be the minimum amount of pips for the stop loss is 20. Okay, this is not allowed, right? Now, if we're going to change the stop loss to 20, this should be allowed, but I did it wrong. So let me just change this real quick because, okay, now it should be working. All right, compile. Let's see. Right, so let's do 20. Okay. And it says this is not allowed 20. That's right, because this is not allowed, it means that it is allowed because we didn't change the text. All right, let's move on with the rest of the script. So if it is allowed, then we can do everything here now, and that's what we're going to be doing. I would say that it's going to be a good idea just to print you know, a blank line. So if we're going to do multiple tests, we can see the you know, what's going on here really. All right, so right, let's get started. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is to calculate the risk percentage. Why not? And how are we going to do this? It's going to be quite simple. Calculate lots. I'm not sure if lots is going to be a reserved name, but let's try it anyway. So lots is going to be, well, first of all, we need to understand the amount. So the amount that we want to trade, the amount that we want to risk. So it's going to be the account balance. Now, account balance is a predefined function that we can use, and that's going to retrieve the account balance of our account, and it's going to be times, all right, risk percentage, all right, risk percentage times 10. Right, the reason for that is because the risk percentage is going to be, sorry, it's not that, it's going to be 0.01. We need to understand how much is going to be in percentage. So that's going to be the fastest way to do so. Now, it's going to be, for instance, let's say it's going to be $50, $50 times that, it's going to be exactly, if the account balance is going to be $1,000, we're going to do 1,000 times 0.01, in this case because it's 1, and definitely we're going to have 10%. All right, so the first one is done. Next one is going to be double again, and this time we're going to just call it, I guess, lots. So we're going to have to do amount, which we just did, and we're going to divide that by stop loss, and this time we're going to do times 10. Right, the reason why we do times 10 is because we want to understand how many ticks there are. So 1 pip is going to be 10 ticks, and so we want to understand how many ticks there are to do this calculation. Now we can already run this alert, and we can say something like, actually, I remember when we were doing this, we had to do a double to string. We need to use the double to string function, because otherwise it would not give us the right, a right amount. And that was the only way to parse the information that I could find so far. But maybe if you know a better way to round it, because if you use the round function, then it's gonna pretty much get the closest integer number. But since we're dealing with decimal numbers, that was the best way to do it. It's at least for me, but definitely this is not going to be good in case we're going to have to use that number. So if you know any way to round the number in decimal places, that would be great. So we're going to have to use the double to string function. Now it needs to, string. All right. So it's going to need to, it needs 2 different arguments. The first one is going to be the number that we want to so it's going to be lots that we want to round, and then the amount of decimal places, and in this case is going to be 2. So now it should work out. But if we're going to do this, it's just going to tell us pretty much the amount. So let's just say, okay, let's do this properly. If you want to risk percentage, so risk percentage, you need to open, this is definitely wrong, because we need to do that. So we're gonna have, the percentage number. Let's do comma here. You need to open a trade for, and here I'm gonna do another thing like that. And basically this is just gonna concatenate strings and integers, or numbers in, because I think if you're gonna store just a string, if it's gonna be a type string, you just can use plus to concatenate. But since there are numbers in here, you're gonna have to use the comma. I don't like that, because in the PHP you can use the dot, and it's, just got used to it. So you need to open a trade for, okay, perfect. And here we're gonna do once more like that, lots, right? Okay, that should work, hopefully. All right, didn't give any error while compiling, which is great. And definitely what we need to do here is going to set a better, let's say 25, yeah? And as a stop loss, we can run this, and it's going to say, if you want to risk 1%, you need to open a trade for 0.20 lots. And it's going to make sense. We already did a calculation. Basically, the amount here is going to be $49. It's going to be about 0.19. But since we are using the function that's double to string, then it's going to give you 0.20. Okay. So now we know exactly how much we need to open the trade, and that's great. All right, next. So at this point, we know everything about this. We know how to calculate lots. Next thing actually is going to be to understand the market pips value. So understand the market pips value. Because definitely if we're going to be on Euro USD or Euro GPY, it's going to be different because we can have 3 decimal numbers or we can have 5. So how can we do that? The first thing is going to be to, well, let's define a double. Let's call it pip amount or decimal. You know, it's gonna maybe it's gonna make more sense. And if we're gonna do this, if now we're gonna use digits. Now digits is one. Well, this is another predefined. In this case, I think it's gonna just be a variable that is gonna just give us back the amount of digits after, I mean, the decimal points of the current chart. And that's going to be very useful because in this case, it's going to give us a number that it's going to be 5 if you're going to be in Euro USD. So we know that if digit is going to be equal, right, to 5, then we for instance, we're going to be in Euro USD. What we want to do? Well, simply we're going to have to do that. We're going to say that PTAC is going to be equal to 0.0001. So it's going to be 1 pip. And we can also do something like else if digits is going to be equal to 3. So maybe we are in, I don't know, we could be in, what's going on here? All right, so if maybe we are in GPY, in a GPY pair, there's only 3. We're going to say that the PTAC, which is going to be decimal, is going to be equal to 0.01. That's it. Let's also say something different because maybe, you know, some people are going to go somewhere else, maybe cryptocurrency. So let's just say pip value. I mean, the pip TAC is going to be 0 in case things are going to be different. So at this point, we do have pretty much the pip decimal number. All right, so I guess every single video I'm going to be making is going to be long, and this is even an easy one. Right, let's keep going. Now, we have that. What we want to do next? Next, we want to understand, okay, what is the trader doing? So, trader, so the trader can buy, can sell, and that's it, really. So let's assume the trader is buying. But if the trader is buying, it means that the side, right, is buy. So I'm going to just say to the script, if side is equal to buy, capital B. That's very important because that's how I did call it. What we're going to do? Well, let's declare first a couple of variables, actual, and you know, we should have also add in the future maybe the spread and all of that, you know, swap maybe. But let's call it for now actual take profit, and it's going to be equal to bid. Now, what's bid? Bid is the actual bid price, and this is another variable that's predefined. You don't have to find it yourself. Just click, you just write bid, and you got the number. And we're going to do plus the take profit, which is going to be the take profit number. And we're going to do times the pip TAC. Let me explain to you why we're doing this. So basically we are getting the number, the current number of bid, and we're going to do this number, and we're going to add take profit, right? Which is going to be, for instance, 25. I don't know. Wait a second. yeah, because we need to understand where to set the take profit. So we're gonna do take profit, right, times profit value. So pretty much we're gonna add the difference, which is gonna be 25 pips here, right? So this is gonna be the way we're gonna do this. And the second one is gonna be the actual stop loss, and it's gonna be once again bid, but this time is gonna be minus, because we are calculating a stop loss on a buy. So we're gonna just say take profit times pip tech. All right, great. Now we have these two values and we're gonna use that. What is going to be important is to understand what the trader wants. So what does the trader want? Starting with maybe it's only take profit, because remember that we are actually giving them the three options. It's going to be take profit, stop loss, or both. So in case that the action, I believe is called, yes, action. So let's go up. Let's see what it is. Action is here. So it's pretty much is one of the three selection here. So if action is going to be take profit, so if action is going to be equal to take profit, perfect, then we need to do something here. We need to do first an alert. And let's say that market price is, and we're gonna just say bid here. You see, I'm used to PHP and I just write dot. And the next one is gonna be alert. And in here instead, what we wanna do is gonna be to say set the take profit at, you know what, let's do this, at, it's gonna look a little bit cooler. And here instead we're gonna just write actual take profit. Perfect. That's it really for the first one. So this is the first case. Let's add another one. Else if, right, else if, assuming that the action is going to be equal to a stop loss. Now, once again, we're going to just tell them, okay, let's just copy that really. So the market price is going to be that, and set the stop loss at actual stop loss. Perfect. Now, also the stop loss is done. Next is going to be the both. So else if, this time we're going to do the both. So he wants to have both of them. So action is equal to both, right? Yeah, both. Okay, this time what we're going to be doing is that we're going to alert pretty much everything. So we're going to alert this. That's the first one, and that's it. All right, so this is pretty much it. Now we do have a if statement here, that one. And this was if the side was buy, but what if the side, so let's see, all right, else if, and we're gonna say side is equals to sell. I'm really risking too much here, guys, because I have no clue. Okay, what? If this is gonna give me any error, and I should do it like really, you know, let's compile this real quick. Okay, there's no error, that's good. And we're gonna do pretty much the same thing, but we're gonna change slightly things differently. So let's just copy this part. So it's gonna be just quicker for us to do it. And now the actual take profit is gonna be different. Why? Because if you're selling, then you're buying at the ask price. So the first thing to change is gonna be that. But it's also true that the take profit compared to the price is going to be lower. We are selling, so if we are buying high here and we want to sell here, right? And the rest of this should be pretty much the same. So once again, ask, and for the stop loss, it's going to be plus, because definitely the stop loss is going to be higher. And I believe that the rest of this should be, well, not all of them, because, oh my God, I don't know what happened, but that was not fun. This was not nice. Ask, ask, and ask. Right, that should work. That should work, guys. And I believe we have already everything. So let's compile this and let's run this. All right, so check in on here, and there we go. Now we want to do both, maybe. So we want, well, first of all, we want to do buy, and we don't just want to have the take profit, but we want to have both. And we know already that this minimum, the minimum amount of, pips is going to be 20, because that less than that, the broker is not going to allow it. And let's say that we want to risk 5%, because we are really, really risky. All right, so let's see what happened. Can I enlarge this somehow? I guess I can, yes. Right, if you want to risk 5%, you need to open a trade for 0.99. Now, this makes sense because this account here is $5,000. 5% of this would be $250, and 0.099 because it's not $5,000 even. The market price currently is at 107. What we are doing here, we are buying or selling? I don't remember. I think we're buying. All right, but well, we can figure out take profit. Okay, we are buying. So we set take profit 20 pips, and you can see the market price is 107.10771. Sorry, actually correct. And the second one is set the take profit at 0.7371, which is 2 pips higher. Perfect. And the stop loss is going to be 25 pips lower, I believe. I don't remember. But it works. That actually worked fine. So the script works. Now, what we can do next? That definitely something we might do in the next video. Let's just write in here because it's going to make more sense. All right. This for now doesn't really make sense because you should have to place everything out, manually. And we already know if you're going to set 10, just going to tell us, no, you can't do it because the minimum amount of pips is going to be 20. So you go back and you just say, all right, so it's going to be 20. Right. And it's going to work out. But what's going to make sense is that whenever we're going to just put this script in here and we set our data, instead of asking, well, actually this can work out. We can open a trade, on the market. So we just do this, set all the parameters. Well, let me just do this real quick. Okay, and then it's gonna open the trade for us. That would be really nice. Maybe open a trade with 3 different stop loss and 3 different take profit. And this is definitely the next step. This is what I want to do next. So to do is make this script opening a trade. That's it. Once launched. So this is going to be probably the next video. We wrote quite a few lines of code here, but this is really basic, guys. I'm learning, and you can see what I'm doing. You can use the ref as a reference, the documentation, and if you want, I will leave you a link of the documentation. But this is really simple stuff, guys. Like, everything we use today is predefined variables, and we use digits. We use ask, For instance, ask. The latest known seller's price, ask price, we used bit. The latest known buyer's price, and we used digit. Now, digits, we used the function digit again, I believe. Yeah. Return a decimal digit. Okay, so this is a function that's going to return to us the decimal digits. But let me see if we did use anything else. So we used digits, we used bit, and we used ask. That's all we used. Well, symbol is another thing. Market info is actually pretty interesting because we can get everything, including very important information. And we use the counterbalance. So this is pretty much it for my first video. Is a 50 minutes video. I was not expecting this to be so long, but guys, this is really, really interesting and also entertaining for me. And I enjoy doing this. This is one of the things that I never learned to do. I've been trading since 6 years now, guys, and I didn't know how to do any of that. So this is going to be interesting for two reasons, because we can check online at some point really, really expensive indicators, or expert advisor, and code it ourselves. And of course, I will give it to you for free, as this one here. You maybe don't want this one because it's really simple, but then maybe in the future, if you're going to just create something that's going to be really cool, definitely you might want to have that for free. So hopefully you like this video, and if you're new to this channel, please subscribe, and don't forget to leave comments maybe, because a comment is going to help me out. If you have a better solution on how to do things, or maybe if you have an idea for a future project, but definitely don't forget to click on the bell icon, so every time I will upload a new video, it will be notified. As well, I just started a new Telegram channel for this, and I'm considering to use Discord. But this is going to be something in the future about Discord, because I know, guys, some people are really crazy, and it might be a mess to manage the thing. So once again, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.